up everyone, this is Blue Nova and I'm here to bring you a new tutorial on Brent Faiyaz's song Insecure. This tutorial is really just going to be over how to get his vocal harmonies. A lot of people have been wondering how to get that sound. Almost sounds like almost sound like Wells singing. It's actually kind of weird, a crazy vibe, but I'm going to show you guys how to do that. And basically it's really just going to be through sending everything through a bus. So let's go ahead and start with the master channel, and we're just gonna turn off everything right here. I may make this folder available with the vocal harmonies so that you guys get a better understanding. That will be available on my site, bluenovabeats.com. So I guess you guys know exactly. I really don't know. It actually helps some of you guys who just need something visual and something more physical. So yeah, the first thing we're gonna do is just work on the lead vocal. And how all of these are all sent to one bus right here. What you want to do in order to do that, you want to go with your first one, and then you want to hit this you just want to right click on this area, don't left click, just right click on it and then hit route to this track only. Once you do that, that'll send it to a bus, and I've done that with every single one right here. So with Brent Faiyaz vocals, you don't need an insane amount of auto-tune because he has a natural R&B sounding voice. If you can't sing like me, you're just going to have a decent amount to correct your vocals. So for this song specifically, what I did was found the scale to be minor, the key, have it on F sharp, and then input type, just have it on low male voice. And all these other settings, you can freeze the screen and copy it. But we're just going to right click and work with this first one right here. As you can see, in order to get those good and wide vocal harmonies, what you need to do is understand that panning is very important, and Brent Faiyaz does this a lot in a lot of his vocals. So you want to have your first vocal pan 30% to the left. So I'm going to play the vocal right here, and let's go ahead and turn off all these other effects. Let's turn off all the effects. So we're just going to play with the auto-tune. So yeah, his vocals are very low as far as the vocal harmonies go. They're really just in the background just to give it, you know, some ambience and some presence. So what I found in the first take of the harmony, just something very, very high pitched. In the second one right here, it's just gonna be the same thing. Just have an auto tune on all these ones, and the reason why all of these just have auto tune is because they're sent to a bus, and this is where all the effects, you know, the actual effects are going to be loaded into. So that's the reason why all these just have auto tune. It actually helps your workflow process and helps you save the amount of plugins, you know, rather than putting, you know, all these same effects on every single insert. This is way better, and it actually helps your CPU space, your CPU usage. So right here, just pan that to the right 30% with the next one. So let's just work with the second one right here. I've done. So this one is very low. I guess you can say it's like an octave lower or 2 octaves lower. So you just want to have your first one to be very high, and then the next one, you know, under that, just kind of low and chill. So the next one right here, this one is only pan, let's see, 15% to the left. And then the next one, this one is pan 15% to the right. And let's move it to right here. So yeah, it's very, very low, just to stay in the background. The next one right here, this one is panned a little bit to the right, only about 10%. That's really all you need. Oh yeah, yeah. So now that we have all these vocals panned left and right, all this really does just create some difference in the vocals and the harmonies. So we're gonna play all of them together without any of the effects right here, and this is what it's gonna sound like. Oh yeah. I've done. Cool. So now we have that. We're gonna jump to the actual effects. Now, what this is doing right here, we're just gonna first start with the Fruity limiter, but we're going to click on the compressor. Now, with your vocal harmonies, they don't need to be, I wouldn't say they don't need to be properly mixed and, you know, have the perfect compressors and EQs on it. All they're doing are they're really just vocal harmonies. They just need to be in the background. They need to be there, but they don't have to be, you know, as perfect as your lead vocal. So your compressor, all you want to do is basically bring the compressor down to where your first lead vocal is, because that's the basis of the harmony. So we're just going to bring the threshold down, but first make sure you have your ratio turn all the way to the right, and your knee, do the same thing. The attack, have it all the way down to 0. Your release, just have that at 175. Your head, you can keep that at 1, really just 1 millisecond. And this is what the vocals will sound like all together with the compressor. So yeah, we're just adding some compression to the entire vocal harmony. The next thing we're gonna do is an EQ, because we still need to cut some of that low muddiness out of the vocal. So these are, you know, it doesn't really have to be the best settings. Like I said, it just needs to be cleaned up. So we're just thinning out the vocal, because I noticed Brent Faiyaz's vocals, the harmonies sound pretty thin. So you just want to make sure you do that. And I just wrote off some of the high end frequency because they are background vocals. You don't want it to compete too much with the lead vocal. You just want them to be there. So that's what I did. Just got the 7-band and wrote it all the way down. Now this is what the vocals will sound like. So yeah, bear with me. I know the volume's kind of low on it, but we will increase the volume later on. The next thing we're going to add is going to be a Foodie Chorus. Now, what this is going to do is just make sure that the entire vocals just have that chorus feel that, you know, that we hear in a lot of these songs, and just makes it sound a little bit wider. So once you just load in the Foodie Chorus, these are the settings that you need to have. As soon as you load it in, it should already be set. But this is what the harmonies will sound like with the Foodie Chorus. So yeah, it makes it sound very cool. I noticed that Brent Faiyaz has something very similar to this in his vocals. So that's, you know, that's a little bit of the basis before we progress into the other effects. Now, the next thing is going to be your Fruity limiter. Now, what we're going to do right here, just bring your release all the way down to 0 and just bring your gain up till it's hitting the ceiling. So with the ceiling, it's at -9 decibels. And like I said, just bring the gain up to where it's hitting the ceiling. So I'm going to play it right now. So now we can hear the vocals a little bit better. The next thing we're gonna do is just add a de-esser stereo. Now with the de-esser, it's not very important to have it. There's not a lot of sibilance going on, but in your records, you know, it's always, I feel like it's always important to have a de-esser, just because, you know, sibilance can get out of pocket and a little bit crazy sometimes. So what I did right here, just bring the threshold down to -23.4, and basically, really, you know, just having the threshold to the lowest peak of the vocal before the S's, you know, spike up. So I'm gonna play the vocal with the de-esser. So you can see it, you know, de-esser is taking care of it right there. The next thing we're gonna do is add a Fruity delay too. Now we're going to cut a lot of the high frequency out of the delay because we just want it to be very ambient. You want it to be very subtle, so we don't need the high end frequency like that. What you want to have on here is have ping pong. That's just going to make sure that the delay is pretty much pan left and right within the vocal. And the volume, I brought the volumes to about right here. The time is pretty fast. The tempo of Brent Faiyaz's song Insecure. is at 140. So that's why I have the time snapped to about right there. So this is what the vocal would sound like with delay. So it's very subtle and it's in the background, and without it, this is what it sounds like. And with it on. So yeah, the delay is very fast and it's filtered, so it's not really crucial, but you do want to have a decent amount. Now the important part, reverb. What you want to do is have a lot of reverb. Brent Faiyaz uses a lot in his vocal harmonies. That's what gives it that well sound. So you want to have the wet level all the way to 100. The same with your early reflection, and the same with your dry level. Have all those set at 100. Now your decay time, you want to have this at 4.3 because Brent Faiyaz, his decay for the reverb, it travels for a long time. So you want to make sure that's there. With your pre-delay, just make sure it's at 80 milliseconds. Your room size, have that all the way to 100. Your diffusion, have that all the way up. And then your low cut, just have it at 515 hertz. And your high cut, you want to have a good amount, have that at 6 kilohertz. Now with the stereo separation, you want to have a good amount, not all the way to 100, because you already have a lot of you already have the wet level all the way to 100, so you don't need to just go stupid crazy with the stereo imaging, but you just want to have it at about 38-40%. So now that we have that, I'm going to play it. Cool. So now this is very important. A lot of people do not know this with vocal harmonies. This is something I actually analyzed with the parametric EQ, but I noticed that Brent Faiyaz vocals, and also a lot of vocals, they sound like they're filtered, but then they also have a high end presence. It's almost as if it was EQ'd out, but not completely. So in order to replicate that same effect, this is something I paid close attention to. What you want to do is have these exact settings. You want to have your cutoff all the way up, the band have the all the way down, your hi-hat pass all the way up, resonance have that down, low pass all the way to 100, and then right here, just make sure that it's on. Now, the reason why I do that is going to kill the frequency at the 5K region, and basically why you want to kill that frequency is because when you have your lead vocal playing, your lead vocals need to shine within the 5K to 15K plus region. That's where the air and then the shine is in your vocal. So like I said, I noticed that in harmonies, you notice that the vocal is there, but then it's not clashing with the lead vocal. And in order to do that, the Foodie filter enables that to happen. So I'm going to play the vocal with the Foodie filter, and we're going to go on the master channel real quick so that you see that it's killing the frequency within that region. So let's do it first with the Foodie filter. And then without it, this is what it sounds like. And then back with it on, this is what it sounds like. Now right here, when we go into the master channel, and if we add a parametric EQ too, you're going to see the 5K region cut. At the very end of Brent Faiyaz's song, I played the last part of his vocal harmonies, and I noticed that it was killed. This whole frequency was basically like blank. So it made me wonder how he did that, and what I did replicates that same thing. So this is what it looks like. So all right there is empty. There's no color. Now if we take it off, this is what it looks like. So you can see the colors passing through, which means there's frequencies within that region. And like I said, you want to have that frequency filtered out so that your vocals shine in that 5K plus region. So now we're gonna play with the instrumental, and this tutorial is not focused with having the lead vocal playing with it. It's just gonna be the vocal harmonies. We're focused solely on getting good vocal harmonies like Brent Faiyaz. So this was gonna sound like with the instrumental. And then what you want to do is just make sure, like I've done in all my previous videos, you just want to make sure that you have a 15K cut, which is right here, and that's going to make sure that the vocals in the entire mix doesn't go past that region. If you're new to the channel, I've always said that a lot of songs nowadays always cut at 15K, and that's like a popular thing now, so you want to make sure to do that. And the last thing is just going to be a Foodie soft clipper, and you just want to load it in and really don't adjust the setting, just leave it how it is, and that pretty much wraps it up. So I'm going to play this final quality of it. So yeah, that's pretty much how to get vocal harmonies like Brent Faiyaz. I hope this really helped a lot of you guys. I'm pretty sure it did. But like I said, I will have this folder available on my site, bluenovabeats.com, so that you have a physical copy and understanding of these vocal harmonies and can apply it to your own workflow. But make sure to subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, or if you're old, go ahead and just hit the bell notification icon. Make sure to like, share, comment. If you need your songs mixed and mastered, you can go to bluenovabeats.com, go to the contact form on the very bottom, and then send me a message through there. I'll reply as soon as I can. But thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video.